This is me vamping.
I'm good? Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Dead or Alive. Welcome to TTRPG. We're here with episode 3 with a special guest who I will have introduce himself in just a moment. We're going to have a little bit of a shorter episode, roleplay episode today, just working that out. And honestly, why don't I just do... People are in the wrong spots, Nikki. Joel and Becca should be switched. On the overlay, I don't know how it happened.
I'm going to say that quickly that Taha is obsessed with caramel. It's canon now.
Oh no! What a
good.
Shocking.
Okay, now you get to do one. It's only fair.
I mean, I think you have to order every kind of I think Raul orders every kind of food with sprinkles on it.
Well, that was canon already. Actually.
Okay, good.
You've just revealed it. Okay.
Oh, sorry, spoilers.
Hardcore sprinkle percent over here.
All right. Joel, introduce yourself. Who are
hello.
you?
I am Joel. I am going to be playing Raul Espada, a little halfling, they them, who is essentially just cosplaying Aragorn all the time.
Layla, our lovely guest, introduce yourself.
Yes, of course. Hi, I'm Layla. I use they pronouns. I'm playing Gale Remedy, who uses she, they pronouns. How much do you want me to reveal about my character?
As much or as little as you want.
Okay, cool. I play this mouse person who's who's an adept, who's cleric-ish, who is here now, and it's great.
It was about the Gale that was in our hearts all along. Becca, who are you?
Hello, I am Becca. I use I just blanked. I use she, they pronouns, and I'm playing Taha Moonriver, who also does. Taha is a member of the Department of Magical Emergencies, i.e. the Dome, and is just a little mage that can't do anything now. And she's blue. Dabba-dee dabba-die.
I'm Max. I was blue dabba-dee dabba-die for many years, but I've been red not dabba-dee not dabba-die for a few now. I use they, he pronouns, and I play everyone else. So let's jump in with a quick recap. In the first episode, we had the drama, we had the unfolding, we had the Council of Mages absolutely blowing up verbally in the beginning of some kind of attack of altered humans in which Taha nor any of the mages could really identify and understand immediately. In this episode, people had kind of begun to scatter to try to lock down the capital city of Vergestoy to help keep people safe from being killed or hurt, perhaps infected by whatever these things were, as the magic in the city has drained and gone somewhere. TBA on the other places in Uvala. You guys don't know yet. We started getting people indoors, and Raul helped get people into a temple, which is where most of our second episode took place. The team, as well as some funky outsiders, helped to fight off some of these creatures, and you are now currently holed up inside the largest temple in Uvala, in the main inners. In Uvala, but also in Vergestoy in the center city. You are there with give or take 50 other refugees and employees / clerics of the temple, including Curtis, who's Dee's character, who will be off working on something with Drew, who's another NPC that I had introduced, who was like very overly prepared for anything. For this episode, there's Father R, who is the frog folk priest who did his best during this attack, but he's just one little guy. He's just one little guy. Yes, and yeah, you guys are hold inside where we left off. We were boarding up the windows. At this point, things are kind of looking like there's a lull. You did take down a number of these undead creatures, and there doesn't seem to be anything beating at the windows just yet. So people are able to come up from the basement where Father R had kind of herded them. When you take a fish home from the fish store and they freak out in the bag, you put them like in the other bag so they can't see anything, so they won't freak out. Same concept, but the people in the basement, so they can't see the chaos outside. That's like a real thing. So they can't see the chaos outside, they'll freak out a little less. But now that we're just up to barricading, they want more hands, and they're bringing people upstairs. And Gail, you would be among this flood of people coming up from the temple basement. So you may or may not recognize, or you'll see Father R, who's currently working with Taha and Raul. Probably looking over some supplies, shelving, just talking.
I was breaking down the pews and extra shelving.
Oh, that's
what out in the back.
I knew you were taking apart
barricade.
something.
Yeah, I'm being very disrespectful.
Okay.
Is Raul committing sacrilege? More to 11.
We'll see. I probably, since I'm just coming up from downstairs and I'm guessing I was like called up here to help, I probably go up to Father R and I'm like, Father R, what specifically can I do to help right now?
He's very flustered. He's usually, having worked with him for a long time, he's like very calm. He's very cool under pressure. But right now you can see that on the inside he's flustered and like genuinely pretty worried. But he's very happy to see you. He goes, "Oh, Gail. Okay, wonderful. You're still here. Mix Moonriver, Mix Espada. This is my associate, Gail Remedy.
It's nice to meet you both.
Gail actually has a wealth of experience with the magical artifacts. Perhaps you might be able to figure out what's going on. Not that I think that there's much we can do at this point. I just hope that there aren't any more. Though they did have to go somewhere. You can see like the inner panic, the spiraling begin in the look in his eyes.
Father R, we will get this figured out and everything will be fine.
Can you heal, or is it gone for you as well?
It's gone for me, and from what I can tell, it looks like it's gone for, well, everyone.
In these things, isn't there supposed to be a chosen one? Like, shouldn't it still work for somebody?
I think in these situations, we have to choose ourselves and figure out things as we go.
The goddess teaches you well. So, what say the two of you then? I don't know how long we can stay in here. And I'm not kicking anybody out, but I don't know if we have the food and the water to sustain this amount of people without magic for too long of a time.
I don't imagine we have many supplies either. We weren't necessarily prepared for this, especially the magic leaving the city. I mean, that's, well, unprecedented for sure.
First time in my life, first time in anybody's life.
The mages are working on it at the moment. They are trying to figure out what's happening. So this whole thing should resolve itself relatively quickly.
uh, sure.
I'm
Yeah.
typically of the belief that the gods give us the tools to solve problems, and it's our job to try with the tools we have.
Now that one speaks the truth right there.
Perhaps I should try to
Well-
lead some of these people in some prayer, just to keep them occupied.
Yeah, that'll help.
Keeping the spirits up will be important. Did we remove the bodies, or are there a bunch of like crickety cracky bodies laying around?
I may or may not be.
I'm going
standing
to-
in the
I'm going
corner
to
try to
take-
get to the windows.
Yeah, I'm gonna take control over Curtis for a moment, and I can take control of Drew because he's my NPC.
Mhm,
And say that those were probably at the very least like moved
mhm.
away from because like they need to stand near the windows to board them up, and you don't want to be standing on that. So
Yeah.
Well, not all of us can reach all that far. So I mean,
yeah, but if anything, wouldn't you want to be standing on like a solid surface like a pew that you're breaking down?
well, the pews are like hooked to the ground. I can't take them off, so I need to do with what I got. So
Okay. Maybe we should try to inspect these bodies in some way. Has anyone tried to do that?
I was about to, but then all the people started to show up, and I figured they wouldn't want to see a dissection.
Maybe we can try
Uh,
to find a more private space.
There was a like
Um,
supply closet that they had dipped into originally, so you guys are welcome to take one in there. There's also like small offshoots, like I guess in a church, what would be like the little room that you have confessional, except confessional like isn't a concept in this universe. It's just like a private prayer like booth. Like if you want to be alone to perform whatever like ritual or like prayer that you're doing, they have space for that. So you can go in like any of those offshoots if you want to take one of the bodies.
Yes, this isn't protocol, but I think under the current circumstances, it
Mm.
is appropriate.
We at least need to know what we're dealing with here, because we're not running on much.
I can see that. Let's figure some stuff out.
Mhm.
Now I need your preference because there are bodies that died different ways.
Mm.
There's the one that got kind of like trampled,
Mhm.
like blunt force trauma. There's the one that Taha and Curtis like took down. And there's one or two, I can't remember if there's one or two that Raul just like shot and double shot down. So which one of those are you going to drag? Which type?
I would.
I would.
No, you go. You're the guest.
I-
Go off.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, of course.
I was just gonna say probably the one that was depending on what they were shot with, because if it's like shotgun level blast, probably not,
Arrows.
but
Arrows.
that one probably because it has the least amount of physical damage to the body. So it would be yes,
Yes.
we got it.
Yep.
why are they pointing at each other?
We just start doing that. Yeah.
It's an ancient custom.
Mm-hmm.
I see.
It's a way for our spirits to connect. And then I start pointing at Raul.
He just walks away. It starts pulling the body towards the room.
I grab the other end.
Yeah.
I'm not very strong, clearly struggling, but trying my best.
It's okay. Neither am I.
I'm
We're
gonna
both
like
struggling.
This is something I learned in like my very first day playing D&D 3.5 is eventual success something that you're not under time constraint for and you can reasonably do given enough tries. You don't need to roll for. So there's no roll for moving body. You will eventually get it over between the three of you.
I'm gonna like try to like awkwardly kind of like T-pose squat walk with it so that I'm blocking the general people from trying to see the corpse as much as possible. But
Anything that's
also-
getting more people to look at you,
yeah,
especially
I'm not. I'm smart, but I'm not smart.
How tall is Gale, by the way?
That's a good question. Well, I am a mouse person, so I'm very short. I'm probably like maybe 4 feet tall.
You're tall. Okay, I'm the smallest still. Good to know.
At
I'm 3 feet
least
tall.
we're like kind of on the same level.
Yeah, I just like
No,
the
I
two
like
of us
it.
being shorts, trying to move a full ass body.
And Father R is on the
all
smaller
the-
side too.
Taha's like on
True.
the taller end of like 5 foot, like 5 foot, like 10 or 11. Like
Oh, to be 5'10" or 11.
the goals, honestly.
be that simple.
They're an icon. They are the
Okay.
moment.
Yeah.
So we are haphazardly I'm not even gonna say that one. We're haphazardly moving I was gonna do like a blank, and a blank walked into a bar, but like I forget what the thing you made made up for Taha is.
Right. Same.
So you're going into one of the private rooms, closing the door, I presume, and you are free to investigate. So whoever is going to do that, please let me know, like, what kind of investigate, like exactly what you're looking at, and I'll have you roll accordingly.
I'm gonna
I
just
think
pull out a
before-
dagger and just. Who's gonna do it?
Well, before we do that, and then I kind of start saying a blessing over the body, and I'm like, you are of the earth, and you will return to the earth, and therefore you are sacred. And then I go, okay, who's cutting open?
I'll do it. Yeah. I'll do
Okay.
the very generic autopsy cut, the variant, and the variant to get all the, like they do.
Wait, so where are you cutting down? I'm not a crime show person.
But yeah, so it's like the it's like a V up here and then like straight down to this like
The Y
stomach.
surgeon. The
Yeah,
Y.
it's a
Okay.
Y. It's a Y kind of on the torso.
Okay.
Mhm.
So
So like
presuming you kind of pull the clothes back a little bit,
Mhm.
and you
Yeah.
make the cut. This dagger isn't necessarily made for doing an autopsy on a body, or is it?
Well, no, it's definitely not a scalpel. It's a big serrated hunter
Ooh,
knife.
serrated.
I'm a hunter. It's what
All
I
right.
do.
We're just ruining this corpse. Huh? Is that the plan? We're just serrating
Well,
it.
if you
Okay.
open it correctly, you could get to like the contents of the stomach without hurting it. It just depends on how you use it.
Okay, so just to open up the body without like fucking it up too bad,
Oh, good.
let's do
no. Oh no.
what you thought that
Oh,
I was just
no.
gonna let you.
Yes.
Wow.
Something.
Is this my
no
reputation?
time limit. I mean,
Oh.
I don't know, Max. I thought we were like friends and stuff.
We
and
are
didn't have to have you,
friends.
like, roll the dice.
We are
you're
friends.
you're never friends with the GM. That's not a thing that
No,
happens.
we are. No, don't say that. No, we are friends.
GM stands
I value our
for-
friendship so much.
Wow.
I'm
I guess I
kidding.
can't romance Max's characters ever
No, don't take it away.
So what's the
Please.
difficulty?
again. Yeah, what am I rolling? I got a D20.
I thought it was bad when Nikki wasn't here. I'm just crazy. Is the real answer. I want to do a difficulty level 4.
Okay, is this what is this? Intellect?
You roll the
Or-
d20 in intellect, and you
Okay,
need a
yes.
12 or higher. If you roll less than 12, it will still be like partially like a success, just like some things might get nicked.
Mhm. I'll just heck up its little body. Hey, you get Tisiphone, move your whole ass. Thank you. I'll spend some intellect points to get up to 12. I'll spend 2 intellect points to get up to 12.
Okay, not bad. So
Yeah. I got a 10 on. Well, I got a 9 on the die plus 1.
yeah, so
Math.
you. Oh, I should have told you guys that you could restore points. More on that later. We're not
I mean, I have no idea what that is. So
If it's any consolation,
Oh.
join.
Yeah, join the party. Welcome.
You're
So
officially one of us.
Taha, I don't know if you've done this before, maybe in like some kind of dissection class. You did it on like an animal or you saw somebody do it.
Mhm.
But you managed to do this just right. You use kind of just the tip of the knife to avoid like cutting too much with the serrations. And you end up with, all things considered with the situation, the cleanest cut you're gonna get in this autopsy on the body. When you cut, or I should make you make a separate, actually no, I'll give you this. When you cut, because this is part of the cutting,
Mhm.
it doesn't feel normal. Like,
Mm.
you know what it's like to like get a cut of steak and cut it up to cook it in the pan.
Mhm.
And once you get past the skin, it doesn't feel like that anymore. It feels like much lighter on the inside.
Mhm.
And so when the three of you look in on this body, it's very jarring to kind of see organs like without blood. Unreality, trigger warning, description of bodies, etc. Watchers, I'm going to talk about something that literally cannot happen right now. Okay. So inside the body, it's kind of organs without blood. It's definitely like dead. There's nothing that's still pumping or moving. And like to the touch of your hand, like as you're cutting the skin, like it is cold. But like that space that should be like icky, like gooey, like flesh between the bones, like where the muscle would be, and all that is this sort of closely ribbed, soft, kind of plant-like thing. And if you roll a straight d20 for me and you roll high enough, I'll tell you the exact thing I'm trying to describe without saying the word.
Correct. A 15.
Yeah, that's high enough.
Poggers.
It's kind of like what the underside of a mushroom looks like.
Oh. Okay.
Except instead of being in a circle, it's like kind of twisting every which way to fit like the space of the cavity that it's in. You can see kind of mucked up close to the most vital organs, like the appendix, like fuck the appendix, whatever, pancreas, but kind of close to like where the heart, the liver, like was. You can see that there's like this like concentrated greenish, grayish, yellowish like gunk that as it hits the air, you see that there's a glow in it, and then it dies and disperses.
Like a what kind of glow was it?
Like a magic glow.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
This is your life study. I can give that to you.
Yeah, a magic glow. Yeah.
Is the glow coming from something specific, or is it just emanating from the body without a source?
It looks like it was in like I really want to find a way to describe this without. Okay, so like when you have like a container of like a dip, and then everybody like eats out of it, and there's still like a little bit in like the corners that like can't be reached. It's kind of like that, but like in cavities of the body, like surrounding the vital organs, like a plaque, or it's a gunk. Like that's the only word I can use. It's gunked, but the magic like dissipates from it, like when it hits the air.
I haven't seen the inside of a lot of bodies, but this is certainly strange.
Yeah, this
Can I have my knife back?
Oh, right, yeah. Sorry. Oh wait. Is it dirty? Like there's no blood or anything. Did the cutting through the mushroom?
There's
skin
no
produce any-
no blood. There might be a little bit of like dead skin on it. It might be a little bit damp, but it's no, not bloody. No blood.
stamp.
You can also see where like the arrows like pierced the body. For argument's sake, I don't think I had any of them go through like the middle. It was like a lot of like neck and leg and shoulder shots. But if you look at those wounds, you can see that it's consistent and that there's no like blood surrounding the piercings either.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm given the knife back, I'm going to just get real into it. I'm going to just cut out some of the mushroom. I'm going to look at those little buggers and see if I recognize them, because I am a nature person.
You're going to cut out like some of like the mushroomy stuff on the inside of the body?
Yes.
Hold on just a moment.
Because-
While I'm doing this, you can roll intelligence.
But hold on a second. Let me get my D20 out because I put it away because I forgot this was not a PBTA game. There we go.
There are dice in PBTA games.
Not
I don't think
D20s.
there are D20s though.
Just D6s. That's why I put away my D20s.
Oh, okay.
What's the difficulty? I rolled a 9 on the dice.
Oh,
And what do I have? What am I rolling?
I was gonna make it difficulty 3, so that actually works out because I know that you know this stuff, so it would be less difficult for you
Fantastic.
than for other people. So there are, a lot of mushroom fibers look like this. It's like a pretty standard structure. But putting it together with the like the coloration, the general circumstances, et cetera, you recognize this as it could be a God's Bane mushroom, which is not a real mushroom in the real world, so don't like try to look it up. I like made up a name. It is based on real mushroom stuff, but that is not like the real name of the mushroom. That you don't know all the science behind it, but you know how it behaves, and sometimes it can take over in a similar way that like ivy does to like a tree. Sometimes when it chokes it, kind of like take over hills, like certain like fallen plant life, even occasionally like the corpse of like a small dead animal, and utilize its energy to both like become like a stronger and healthier. Mushrooms aren't technically a plant; they're a fungus. To become a stronger and healthier thing, and to like spread.
Yep, that's what it is.
You're gonna relay that information.
Yeah, I told everybody in gruff grunts and annoyed statements.
I
So
wonder.
it's magical.
Well, I don't know if the mushroom itself is typically magical, but maybe something about the magic being drained from the city and the way that this mushroom is behaving oddly, because it doesn't typically, as far as I know, take over living people, correct, Raul?
Not people, no, but it could take over
Well,
bugs and insects of some sort.
the first ones of them that we saw were in funeral gowns. And then when they transferred it over to other ones via it was a bite we saw, right? Yeah, via bite.
Right. It seems that feels like there, especially because we found magic inside the body, it feels as though there's something to do with the magic being drained from the city and the way that these mushrooms are reacting strangely that have to do with each other. Do we think that somehow the mushrooms got connected to the magic of the city? Do you think the mushrooms maybe started draining the magic and then grew more powerful, became more uncontrollable?
Quite possibly. It's just then how did all of this happen? Like gestures to like the lack of blood in the body. How did it get inside? And that the transformation was immediate when it happened. It wasn't like a slow, gradual thing. Magic was gone, and then suddenly the crickety crackities were around and about.
What if the reason the mushroom is so everywhere is because that's what it feeds on, what isn't left over?
Are you asking if it feeds on the magic or on the body's, the blood, right?
Yes. And that's why there's so much of the mushroom.
Well,
It just grows and takes over.
And then
So
once it drains, and then once it drains the blood of one person,
it does what
it
every
uses
creature
its
wants
body.
to do.
Yes.
Spread.
can I see your knife again? Ta's gonna prick their finger and kind of try to put a drop of blood into, like, not touching a blood, like the mushroom with the blood, but like above and then like try to drip it onto a pile.
Every
It's
time
not
I think
hardcore.
I know where y'all are going. You surprise me. Yeah, I don't think we need
Science.
to.
The scientific
don't-
method, what every TTRPG player loves.
Yeah. So here's our hypothesis. The mushroom is going to slurp up that blood
Hypothesis,
real
mushroom,
good. Hypothesis is
experiment,
mushroom.
blood.
Yeah. Yeah.
My new
mushroom.
band, Hypothesis Mushroom.
That's a good
Uh,
one.
So
For
You-
the
you
record, I immediately move towards the undead's head and just pull out my sword. Just hold it at the ready. If this fucker moves, his head's gone.
you prick your finger, you hold it over so it will drip so you don't have to directly touch it. Your blood falls down onto the insides of the body, the tissue, whatever you want to call it. And it does not absorb
Hmm.
the blood.
Okay.
It kind of just settles. I mean, maybe it absorbs it in like the way that like a towel or like a porous material would, but it doesn't like suck it up instantly or
Yeah.
anything like that.
All right. Oh. Here's your knife back.
Well, I feel like we've learned everything we can from this specific experiment.
We could capture a live one. They're not that lively.
I don't know what more we would learn by cutting it open in one that just... Because it just dies if you hit it enough. It's not anything specific.
Do we know of a place where these mushrooms typically grow in abundance?
Do we know?
Do we
Would I
know?
Would I know this information?
Before I set a difficulty for the roll, I will ask you, how well traveled are you outside of the reason around?
I'm well traveled.
Probably a lot. Yeah. I mean, I'm a wilderness explorer, right? Like, my job is to go out into the world.
Yeah, oh yeah, and Gail, you are very well traveled as well. So let's do an intelligence roll for you, both difficulty level 2. So you need a 6 or higher.
That's a
Okay,
6
cool.
on the dice.
I famously
Ooh,
don't
If
leave
it
the
matches,
city.
it counts, baby.
Okay.
19. holy
Let's
shit.
go.
So you both know there is Aishok, which is where like the there's like the school that Taha studied at, but the like major university of like non-magical, like with all different kinds of study, is in Aishok, which is in a walled city. and it's pretty common, like imagery, like it's on watercolor and postcards and stuff, that the mushrooms like are all around like the base of the wall that walls the city. And they like climb on like the surrounding like wildlife and stuff there and up the side of it. Most people actually like the look of it. It's pretty cool, and the mushrooms are also used in some local dishes there because they are edible.
Very
Good
interesting.
questions.
I think that
Oh, go ahead. No,
They're
no, continue.
edible in the way, this is like a very small detail. They're edible in the way that like pufferfish is edible and like a delicacy in Japan. Like you have to prepare it a specific way for it to be okay to eat, but when you do, it's very good.
I have
Raul, you
I have
can go.
some I have some GM questions real quick. One, how big are these mushrooms usually?
It depends. The dome of the mushroom you have seen, Joel, to be even as large as like a basketball. But they can also be small, like Snapple Cap.
Okay.
Sometimes.
So the size of what appears to be within the person is not necessarily a natural sizes for these type of mushrooms. As far as I'm aware.
No, but it's also not like structured in the same way. It's structured in a water way.
Mhm.
And I feel like a tinfoil hat person right now. I wish I could draw. It's
As in
structured
it's,
in
it's
a
filling all the empty spaces, and it's not like one.
yeah. It's
mushroom.
filling the size of the container it's in. Yeah.
Mhm.
Gotcha. Fascinating.
we should try to find a way to get to Ishak.
How far away is that from us?
Is a certain amount of measurements of distance away from here.
Actually, you would all know this. Like it's another major city. It depends on if you were to go by foot or by like steeds or by like cart.
Mhm.
If you go by cart that is pulled by like however many livestock at once, you could probably make it there in a day's travel. On individual steeds, 2.5. On foot, a little bit longer.
Does the temple like have
But usually
any
people just
carts or
teleport.
anything like that? Just like to receive resources or anything?
The temple does have like a cart out back, but it doesn't have its own livestock to attend to it. They're usually brought in from like stables for the occasion. Considering most things are usually aided with magic during transport to speed up the process. Small things can be teleported through teleportation circles from one space to the other. Magic can be used to lighten loads to travel faster, long distances. But like, for lack of a better term, nobody's had to raw dog it in a long time.
I mean,
Had to. You choose to raw dog it.
thank you. How
Well,
far
I
away?
imagine.
Oh,
I was just going to say, I imagine the teleportation isn't working considering the magic isn't working in the city.
Correct.
Mm.
and we are how far away from the city edges? Or city limits?
You are in the inside of the city. So you are pretty much as far as you can get from the exits.
Awesome.
To be fair, I was trying to get you all to leave in the first session, but you decided not to do that. So
We
blame
had-
yourselves now
We
that
had
you
to
want to leave.
protect people.
We are good people, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I forget that you guys are nice because my friends that I play with at home are mean.
The reason I ask the distance between where we are and the exit of the city is
Oh, no.
because is it me or is it
I lost everybody for a second. I can hear you now.
Okay, good.
Oh, I
Okay.
was asking just know if it was safer to go by car or just to sneak through.
With the uncertain circumstances, I could not answer that question for you.
Okay.
I mean, and we would have to find some kind of if we were to take a cut, we'd have to find some kind of steed and then, steal it. I suppose.
All three of you would reasonably know where the stables are.
Mhm.
They're in the outer ring in town. With the help of other people, a cart could definitely, like an empty cart can definitely be pulled through the city. Especially, I don't want to give you too many ideas, but this is cool, so I'm going to give it to you. Especially if you put it on the line that the Magia rail follows, and hooked it on and pulled it on the track. It actually might go pretty easy that way.
We should do that, but Raul, is it okay if I take this mushroom? Since we're going to find more of them, I'd actually think there's a way for it to be useful in the city.
Yeah, that's more where that came from.
Okay, great. So I take the mushroom and I'd like to go over to Father R. Father R, we're going to try to get to Ishak because we believe that there are more of these mushrooms that we found inside of a corpse.
Oh my God!
Yes, I know that that's very upsetting, but I think it's really important if you can find some representatives from the agriculturists.
No, Gil, what is that? And he's looking at like the weird cut of mushroom fibers in your hand.
It's a God's vein mushroom. It typically can only take over dead corpses of animals, but we found it inside one of the bodies. We believe that it's spreading like an infection. Now, a way that you can really help is if you know any of the agriculturalists or the ecologists, if you could get this sample to them and see if they can see anything weird about it that maybe we couldn't.
Well, I'm not sure if it's safe for me to leave just yet. I don't know if you... Oh, well, maybe I'm glad you didn't see my performance an hour ago. But
I'm sure that you did as well as you could.
You did atrocious.
There ought to be, and he's going to do the airplane thing. Is there a doctor on the plane? Is there anybody here who works in agricultural studies, ecology, even food?
Especially if you have experience in magi ecology or magi agriculturalism.
I mean, we could just go back to the mages. We did just leave the agricultural mage. I believe they were at the top of that building 2 hours ago.
That's true.
They were. It's been 2 hours.
It has been 2 hours. Who knows what they've gone?
They probably killed each other by now. They never agree on anything.
Father R, whether it's you or whether it's someone else, I think it's of vital importance that we get a sample to people who may know more about these mushrooms or may know more about how this disease could work.
I'm going to roll a die to see if somebody comes forward. Because it's very possible with the amount of people there, the broadness of the ask.
You're going to roll a nat 1.
Yeah, is that what you want?
But it would be funny.
We are going to have to
go
back
roll a 3.
Oh,
so you know what?
There's 3 of them there that know about the Agricultural Society. Wow.
There is one person who comes forward. They're not in agriculture or ecology or anything like that. They are a chef in one of the restaurants in town. And they're maybe in their early 40s, mostly clean cut, with a lot of visible scars from a lot of chopping and knife work gone wrong. Half work kind of fellow. And I say, well, if nobody else knows better than me, then I'm happy to take a look at that God's vein mushroom. I hope you're not planning to eat that.
I personally was not planning to put this anywhere near my body other than touching it to show it to people.
Well, that's
I highly suggest you do not ingest it in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, it was in a corpse.
That and we believe it could turn you into a zombie, maybe. We're not sure yet.
Crickety, crickety.
You know, you might want to say that stuff a little quieter.
Crickety, crickety?
Here.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Yes.
The people probably don't want to know that there are mushrooms inside of them. Well, inside of the crickety crackities.
So what did you want me to do with this?
Well, we were actually looking for someone who might know more about the mushroom and how it works, or someone who could get it to an agriculturalist or an ecologist.
Well, I don't know if you've looked outside.
I actually haven't.
Why don't you go look? Why don't you go look, Gail?
Are there any windows?
They're boarded up, but you could reasonably look through a gap. The humanoid eye doesn't need much.
Sure, I'll do that.
No roll necessary. You look through the window, and it is the emptiest you've ever seen Registoy in your life. The only thing you see is a lone one of these undead, pale in the way that the body that you just examined was wandering across in a direction, and it's the only thing on the street.
Okay, this is very upsetting. All right.
So logical.
Listen, academic. This is very upsetting. All right, I can see why people are hesitant. But what must be done, what must be done. I know words.
The wheel weaves as it will.
The wheel.
I'm reading Wheel of Time. That's what you sound like right now.
Honestly, yeah, that is this character. All right, Taha and Raul. It seems as though most people are very hesitant to leave the temple. I do understand their reasonings, and I can respect that. However, we need to get shit done.
That's true.
You're speaking my language. What do
Layla, stay forever.
So,
I mean, if our plan is to make our way out of the city, then we could theoretically try to stop by the Mage's Clubhouse. I'm sure it has an actual term, but I can't think of it right now. The Mage's Clubhouse. Knock on
the Hall of Mages.
The Hall of Mages. Yes, of course, I know that. Stop by there, or we could swing by the dome, and see if one of my coworkers will take the sample and give it to someone with more anything, or if they've all left already.
I mean, there are also departments for both agriculture and ecology that exist within this inner section of the city. Yeah, I think there's no guarantee that anyone is still there. They do exist.
I think maybe our first step should be to get horses, and we can use the cart to get wherever we need to go from there. I will warn you, the only thing I'm kind of good at is magic, and I don't have any of that right now.
This is why you don't rely on anything outside of yourself. Listen, one quick question.
Go.
Do you two not have any? You are the magic people. Do you not have any theories on how the mushrooms are connected to the magic being gone?
I have a feeling that somehow the magic is affecting the mushrooms and allowing it to act in a way that it wouldn't normally act. However, beyond that, I have nothing. I studied ancient magics for years at iShock, and they didn't talk a lot about mushrooms, to be quite honest.
Then follow-up question, wouldn't it be the worst possible place to go to the city that has all the mushrooms that are currently taking over people's corpses?
I guess I imagine that maybe the city where all the mushrooms are necessarily hubbed might be the place where where this originated from, and if we can find the place this originated from, maybe we could learn more about it.
That's fair.
What are our city's political ties to this?
Elaborate on that question so I can answer it properly.
Are we friendly with this other city? Like, are tensions a little like terse at the moment? What's kind of like the vibe in politics between us two?
No, it's my borderline utopia.
Right.
There, no, there are no like major,
Mhm.
because of the allowance of like self-governance of like the major provinces or cities, whatever you want to call them, establishments, throughout Uvala. Things generally stay calm between the cities, so there's no particular like ill between them. There's maybe a healthy rivalry between your school and the university in Aishok, but like there's nothing that's like real bad blood.
Okay.
I have a question for the GM. Are there any of the cities like Riverbank, near I could be saying any of these wrong. Balrelton, are any of those closer to us than Aishok?
It's closer to get to Riverbank pretty much from wherever you are, because Riverbank is like it goes along the river, so it's a city that's like Italy is, it stretches.
If
So you could get to the edges of Riverbank and travel through it if you wanted. Yeah.
If we're feeling hesitant to visit Aishok, we could go to Riverbank first. There's a lot of people who study earth magic there, so it's possible they may also know or be able to tell us more about the way that these mushrooms may be evolving so quickly.
I am going to be honest with you. I frankly don't care too much about the magic stuff. But if I know one thing, is that when you're dealing with a beast out in the wilds, the best thing to do is just go for the head. Though as much as I might be hesitant to go to the big mushroom city, I think that may be the place to go, especially because it doesn't seem like this is something that is going to be over soon. If something triggered a change, then it is safe to assume the lever goes the other way as well. If maybe just investigating is going to let the mushrooms solidify.
Okay, absolutely. That was
That's
another
it.
option, but I'm happy to go with the first one. What about you, Taha?
Yeah.
It's probably next best thing to do if we're kind of at a loss here. Going to the place that has more information about these specific mushrooms would be beneficial. I'm just still confused as to how they got inside the bodies.
That's a very good question. We know that people sometimes eat them, but I can't imagine. Well, I guess I could imagine, but I feel like it might be a little more complicated than that. And you said that, was it true that I heard that it was people in funeral clothes?
Yeah.
It was the first time. So I guess maybe there was one body it sprouted from.
We saw a few in funeral clothes, and then when they bit the one that we saw, it seemed there was a different vibe's the wrong word, but a different kind of transference kind of between them. That it seemed like more than just a casual bite.
Okay, so we think that this infection can be transferred via saliva or some kind of DNA. All right. But that probably wasn't the way the first person got infected.
If they were already dead.
Well, I know of some mushrooms that are not mushrooms, but parasites that let themselves get eaten, so they take over the host, and then they force that host to be eaten so that they can take over a larger host. So it wouldn't surprise me if that ultimately was what happened to this first unfortunate soul.
Do we know if there is some kind of center of this might also just be a player character question. If there's like a center of magic in the city, like is it stored within like underground at all?
That's a good question.
Like here?
Yeah, here in Uvala.
I know we had talked about like magical, like in the first episode we talked about like magical like factories
factories,
almost. Yeah.
Yeah, spell jammers that like
Yeah.
makes the things that are powered by magic. I mean, overall magic is just like a thing that exists inherently here. And is like of the earth and like the air that you breathe, and it's always been there for as long as you've all like kind of been alive. And so it's not like there's like one power source or like one thing that someone could have like pressed like the big red button on or anything like that. That's why the disappearance of it is like so surprising, like and unplanned for.
And
I
go ahead.
Oh, okay.
I thought that you were frozen.
I thought you
That
were.
was
I thought
good.
that you were
No,
frozen. That was really good.
I stopped. Just like you could ask your question.
I feel
I'm
like that
sorry.
happens a lot. I'm so sorry. I don't know
It's
a lot
okay.
about mushrooms. I'm not a big mushroom person, but the one thing I do know about mushrooms is that they grow very deep and connected roots. So I was thinking if somehow they use their roots to connect to a power source of the magic in the city, but if there's more than one,
Like
that doesn't
connected to a ley
necessarily
line
make
or something.
sense.
Are there ley
That's what it
lines
feels
canonically in the
like.
world?
don't fucking know.
Landlines. I don't know if this is a landline kind of place.
Like a ley line, not landline.
Oh,
Yeah.
The lines of magic that
Yeah,
connect,
lines of
magic
they
that kind of
cross
course through the
over, they're
world.
like
I don't know. I don't know if there is. I never intended for it to be like an organized thing for people to understand.
Okay,
so
well,
no.
So I had a theory about ley lines, but that might not be relevant. I'm getting a thought that might not be relevant to what the
Ley
answer
lines.
is.
What like
that's
the
very
lines
interesting.
that
Yes,
pay on
I'm
the
also.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I think we have all the information that we can get here.
Mm-hmm.
Let's try to find some more horses, I guess. Is there an exit from this temple that we have not boarded up?
one last question that it may be a GM question or maybe a player to the other magic user player questions, but if magic is all over the place, there are some magic that it's not just like it's just magic that happens, right? That's how, like, it's not like there's somebody waiting to turn on the light and then they keep focusing on that light being on for the rest of the day.
Mm-hmm.
But then all magic left, right? Including the non-focused magic. Right? I just
That's what
Okay,
it seems
yeah.
like.
okay, just
Yeah.
just clarifying for those
Mhm.
people that unlike me are not following what's happening.
Well,
Is to be
hey, I feel that. I super feel that.
I'm not super like big on the whole magic front. I am sorry. It's
Well, that's okay. Not everyone's, expertise can be magic. And in fact, in this instance, your expertise not being magic is very useful.
in all
Mhm.
instances, my expertise is that he's like he just pulls himself up to all his 3 feet, just like I'm always useful. What do you mean?
Yes, of course. Yes, of
course.
course. We are all
Mhm.
very useful.
So, what is our game plan to proceed from here?
I think, and anyone can correct me if I'm wrong, find horses so we can use the cart. Use
Mhm.
the cart to visit, well, I guess either the agriculturist or the ecologist, but I was thinking the ecologist. Maybe visit the Hall of Mages someone was asking about.
I mean, the Hall of Mages is like down the block, right?
Yeah,
It's not far from
pretty.
here.
It's walking distance, as is where you would find like the different departments of agriculture and ecology. That's all in this section. The stables are on the outside, and
Oh,
I
okay,
didn't
so
say anything about
let's-
horses.
Oh, stables, though. Yes, of course. Well,
They're
my
awesome things that I made
Okay.
up.
Okay, I'm very
Tentacle
excited to
cats.
find out about them. I think then we should visit the different departments that we're looking to visit first, and
Mhm.
then try to get the horses, and probably bring the horses back to the cart rather than I keep saying horses.
You can
Go
say
to the
horses.
stables.
Mhm.
Okay, incredible.
It's not
Um,
like there aren't horses. Like I like horses.
We go to the stable and then bring whatever we bring back to the
Mhm.
cart rather than trying to bring the cart to the stable, because I have a feeling the cart will be an impediment to getting wherever we're trying to go.
Yeah, almost definitely.
Why don't we just, if the stables are on the outside of the city, we could just do what we need to do in the city, go to the stables, take some horses, and just
I guess we don't necessarily need the cart. Okay.
We could try to
Just
find another cart along the
mean, if
way. Maybe
you-
someone
I'm
abandoned
just-
theirs.
these things react to sounds.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
riding around with animals in a cart might be a little bit more dangerous because
Well, that was information I did not have and is very useful. You are very useful. All
I'm
right.
always useful for this.
You
Great.
are always useful.
Yep.
I like them.
With this plan relatively set, I'm gonna see if we can take a break for a few minutes now, and we can come back for the execution. Everybody get water. This is partially
Execution?
because I ran out. The execution of the plan.
Max is gonna execute us
Oh my God, are we
Execution of the
finally bringing
party.
out the guillotine for Jeff Bezos?
at long
That's
last.
in the finale.
Okay, cool.
Incredible.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Hope you had a nice break. We have these lovely folks here today, and they are getting ready to venture outside of the main temple and back into the city of Registoy in an attempt to get some new info and eventually leave the city. So you're looking for out. I don't think you need to ask anybody because Gail, you do like work here at this point. There is like a storm cellar like door in the basement that you could that like it locks, so it's probably not barricaded. You could probably leave that way for your initial leaving.
Okay, everybody. This is the way to exit. Are we all prepared? I know I'm not, but I'm going to try my best.
I'm gonna pull out my sword and put it out for anybody who wants it.
I think I'll take that. I'm not very
Alright.
good at sharp things, but
It's either that or the bow. I say as
Yeah.
I pull out my bow, so I figured that would be just sharp edge into enemies. It'll
you
be
watch
fine.
like Gail is holding it with both hands and it still seems a little too heavy for them. But they're like trying their best to hold it up.
You're taller than I am. How are you struggling with this?
I have little tiny mouse arms. I am very weak.
Should we inform Curtis of our plan?
Well,
In
I'm
case-
sure the frog geezer probably told
All
him
right,
already.
he has a name.
I would like you to show some respect to Father R, but also he is a little out of his element right now.
Did you call? He heard his name and came over.
Oh, we were just about to head out for some time. How amount of time do we expect to? Are you?
I mean, at
Depends.
least 5 days because it'll take us about 2 days to get there and 2 days to get back.
Where are you
Unless
going?
we die, and then we never came
Well,
back.
Well, unless we die, that is true. We're heading off to iShock. We believe that that might be the center of what's happening here, and we want to gather more information and hopefully stop it.
Allow me to bless you all before you leave.
Of course,
Mhm.
teacher.
I'm
He'll
good, thanks.
he'll whoever will accept, he'll hold your shoulder, speak a short blessing of Sirathil, like very quietly. Not for Raul if they are refusing, but for Taha and Gale if they are not, or they are not refusing. Yeah.
Let the moon shine on you, Father R.
Yes, you as well. I
Same?
have some faith. I'm sure Curtis will be right behind you.
Mhm. Of course. Are you? Do you need anything before we depart?
Well, we were discussing trying to make a sort of barricade.
Mhm.
We're going to take some of the paneling and kind of make a wall of ourselves to the main hall to see what we can do from there. It's going to take another day or two, but we have enough food to sustain for at least a few days in here.
With your leadership, I'm sure everyone will stay safe and protected and calm.
You just have to
I'll-
be quiet, and then the monsters aren't going to come after you.
Mhm.
Right,
Yes.
quiet, right, because there are monsters outside.
Like,
And we will remove the one that we put in the supply closet before we leave.
well, he
That
did
is
say
a
there,
very
he's dead.
thoughtful idea, Taha. Yes, we should do that.
Okay. Yes, I'll make sure that your friend catches up with you.
Thank you.
I'm not sure quite where he went, but he's got to be around.
Maybe doing security things. Who knows?
So y'all are taking care of the body, and then heading out towards which ecology?
I will leave this up to Taha. Taha, would you like to go to the ecology department first, or do you think the Hall of Mages would be a good first place to visit?
From my experience, Max, with the ecologists,
Yeah.
how fun are they to talk to? Since we're like, we're in the same kind of shitty office building. Joel's losing it because I had to push my cat down as she stood up and stretched.
It's a cat. This is great.
Yeah.
They sit somewhere between like dorky and hippie-ish.
Great.
They're usually pretty agreeable, all things considered, and are, in your experience, happy when someone is interested in their work.
Oh God.
So if we go to the ecologist, they'll probably talk to us for a good while, which could be good or bad. But if we go to the Hall of Mages, 4 of them probably won't let us in. The other 4 would let us in, but who knows where in the building they are at the moment.
Okay, well, it sounds like maybe the Hall of Mages is going to be our first stop. If ecologists seem a little bit more welcoming, we might want to Hall of Mages first and then see where it goes from there.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Raul?
What about me?
Oh, I was just wondering if you had any thoughts.
No thoughts. Head empty.
Incredible.
I'll just
What if I
just say where we're going, and we're going to either magic people or like plant people, and I don't care about either of those really. I'll just tag along until we get to the nice important stuff.
Well, may I just say I appreciate your straightforwardness.
Thanks.
Okay, Taha, what were you going to say?
What was I gonna say? I got distracted because I was looking at my notes. I was gonna ask, did the mage of the head mage of the ecologists go with the group of 4? That was the strategist?
I think he stayed in. He stayed in only because he wouldn't have really been of combat like use.
Right. Okay.
But I would say that it's pretty likely that he would have helped with the efforts of like warning people, like with the signage on the building.
Yeah, I started laughing because the only thing I have in my notes about him is youngest Milo Thatch motherfucker. That's all.
That's
that
perfect.
I have in there about him. So
he's brand new.
Okay, well, let's head over to the Hall of Mages then, shall we?
Yes.
Okay. So can everybody roll speed for me?
Which is a D20?
It's all a D20. Everything is a D20.
Okay, great.
I wanted to.
I rolled a 17. I don't know what my actual speed. I think my edge speed is 0.
That's okay. You rolled a 17. That's fine. I'm going to average everybody's scores.
8.
Okay, great.
8. Oh no.
Oh no.
Good one.
Wow, I'm really hoofing it for everyone. It's because I'm a mouse. I'm like scurrying. I'm like.
That's an average of 8 2/3. I'll give you the 9.
That's pretty good.
I'll give you the 9. Gale taking as quiet as a mouse so seriously. Like, it is not just an expression. They disappear. Practically. 2 of you, not so much. You may catch the attention of one lone wanderer, but you can kind of throw a rock, have it go the other direction. And you safely make it to the building where the Hall of Mages is.
I'm assuming the doors are locked.
Yes.
Okay.
If you try it like loudly enough though, someone will like ask who it is. So are you just like, or are you?
I'll like do a quick like little look around to see if there are any crickety crackities relatively nearby. And then if it's looking like the coast is relatively clear, I'll do like a little like a knock.
Uh who is it?
Taha Moonriver. I'm with the Department of Magical Emergencies.
And Gail Remedy, with the temple, I study under Father R. And we're here with some pertinent information. We would like to be let in as soon as possible.
Open the goddamn door.
Oh,
That is Raul. He is
Gail,
very
you
useful.
should have just said. And you hear a lot of unlatching, and the door opens just enough for you guys to sneak in. Gail, this is one of the attendants to the like the mage representative for the temple, like for the religious deities. So you guys have met before.
What is their name?
Paulina.
Paulina, thank you so much for letting us in with
Oh.
urgency. We deeply appreciate it. If you
We're
could also
glad
lead
to.
us.
We're glad to see you, and you as well. And oh gosh, one of you is missing. Oh goodness.
No. They're fine. They're off doing something else at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, we need to speak to the other representatives. I specifically am looking for the ecologist, the one who represents them.
Oh. What do you need Simon for?
Well, we have a mushroom that we extracted from a corpse.
You're never
Yeah.
going to get a normal reaction to this.
I think honestly that was a normal reaction.
Yeah. Go again?
So basically the crickety crackities, Taha cut one open and we extracted a mushroom from it. And we believe that it has something to do with the magic being drained from the city. And also we believe that the crickety crackities may be infected by this mushroom somehow. And so we believe an ecologist may have some more information on how all of this may work.
Paulina like skitters back a little bit and she's like, I don't know if it's best for you to be in contact with the high mages if you've all touched one of them.
We believe that ingestion is the main way of infection, so we have made sure not to lick the mushroom.
Have a seat. I'm not going to bring you into the council chamber, but I mean, this is like a large building with a lot of different rooms. There's a lobby, there's conference rooms and stuff like that. So you can take a seat at like one of the lobby couches, and she is going to go retrieve High Mage Colin of the ecologist, or not Colin, Simon of the ecologist to speak with you.
Very good. Thank you very much. And then I just sit down all primly.
Waste of time.
If it gets someone else thinking about it, the more brains on it will be better to help solve the problem.
We could have that conversation faster if we just follow her or them.
I believe that following her may make her distressed, and I believe making her distressed would make her not want to do the things we ask for her to do.
What exactly did we ask her to do?
To get the ecologist.
Get
Did
the
we follow her?
ecologist.
She's going to the ecologist right now, right? So if we
I
get there,
believe
then she
so.
wouldn't. It would.
And she's coming back with him now.
It's not a long walk to the hall from here.
No, it's like right upstairs.
I just love Raul trying to deal with all these rule followers.
Hey, we found a mushroom in a corpse. One of them walking ones.
Yes, hi Simon. It's good to see you.
It's certainly a way to say hello, and he pushes his glasses up. He goes,
The world is dying. Hello can wait for later.
one hell of an afternoon. All right. So uh, Paulina was scattered, religious, not really my thing. Mushroom corpse. Let me
Right.
see, please.
Yes, I pull it out and hand it over.
So these beings, we cut one open, no blood, cold to the touch already, and this was kind of piled up in there, kind of like just obviously not growing as like mushrooms itself, but obviously just the kind of, I don't know the word, just like
He's-
that in a he's in the
He's
zone.
at work. Yeah, he's at work super quickly. He pulls out like a leather like glove from like the inside like of his coat, and he puts it on his hand for when he takes the mushroom to hold it without like touching it with his fingers.
Valid.
And he's like holding it up to the light, and he's
When
looking at it and go
Even
on.
strangers, when we opened up the corpse, there were remnants of gooey, kind of grimy magic that disappeared when it came in contact with the outside air.
Did it oxidize by chance?
Well, I don't recognize it as oxidization.
I
It was
wouldn't-
almost like it evaporated, as far as I can tell.
it was simply from what it appeared to be from the like natural eye, it appeared to be a glow that then faded.
All right. Well, now I can't tell you precisely what's going on with these bodies, but I can tell you how a Godsbane mushroom operates. And it's essentially a parasite, but it does well, and he gets lost in his own thoughts for a moment, and he's looking at the mushroom a little bit more, kind of like in awe, like this was really in someone's body. And then he snaps back and he goes, it's a parasite, so when it takes what it wants per se, in the case of nature, it's in nature, in its natural habitat, it's looking to drain as much energy as possible and resource. It needs it needs energy to grow. It needs chlorophyll from a plant that it overtakes. It needs water from a corpse that it might overtake. It takes, and it stores those things. It doesn't grow right away. The spores of them do spread rather quickly in a larger overtaking. For example, if Godsbane mushrooms were to find the body of something as big as a wolf, it would have plenty, overwhelm, so that it would disperse in an effort to overtake the item more quickly, and more Godsbane mushrooms would begin to grow. With all that, I'm sorry, did I go on a tangent?
Honestly, tangents are kind of useful right now, considering how little we have.
The magic, in this sense, is another resource, if I'm picturing it correctly, that this thing has taken. But because you killed the host, or re-killed the host, there's nothing to protect it. There's no energy left to stop the magic from returning to the source. And the source is usually like the world, but I don't know where it's gone now. So the mushrooms are working in symbiosis with whatever has moved the source.
Okay.
Okay, so just to repeat that in my own words, to make sure I understand, the mushroom is working with another thing that's happening in order to create this effect. You believe the mushroom is only part of the equation?
I mean, I don't know, because I mean, it isn't an intelligent being. It's a mushroom. So there had to be some way that something that changed in ingestion and injection, something that made this happen in the first place. And the mushroom exists in symbiosis with whatever that thing is.
Like, so there was something that created a catalyst, and now the mushroom is reaping the effects of it.
Catalyst, that's a great word for this. Yes, I would believe. And these are all hypotheticals, of course.
So the change in magic or whatever caused that change in magic is what triggered the crickety crackities happening.
I
That
would
could
think
have
so
been the
because
catalyst.
I don't quite connect how or why Godsbane mushroom would be storing magic on its own behalf when it cannot itself utilize it.
That we
So
know
it's
of.
possible that someone is using the mushrooms in order to drain the magic, and they are storing the magic themselves.
That would be quite sinister, no?
I
That
presume
would
you
be
don't
quite
have any
sinister.
you don't have any non-magical way to measure or detect magic, do you?
Well, it's pretty easy to know magic when you see it, especially for me, but I haven't seen any today.
I mean,
Well, that's because there's no magic anywhere in the city.
All right. Well, Simon, this has been very useful, I feel like, for us.
mhm.
And I think it kind of cements our plan to head to iShock, no?
Oh, because of the wall.
Yes, if
Well, the mushrooms more so.
yes, the mushrooms on the wall. It's possible that wherever this storing is happening is probably in the greatest concentration of the mushrooms, and therefore that's probably where the catalyst began. And if that's where the catalyst began, it's possible that's where it could end.
If you're going to leave the city, you should take note from us. There's no way for us to communicate with the rest of the world right now, and we don't know if things are the same. So,
You don't have any carrier pigeons?
I suppose we could send a raven. But it will most directly reach the hands of those that it needs to reach if sent with you all.
If you would like us
I'll
to
listen
take a
to that.
message, I believe that can be arranged.
Of course.
Okay. Anything, he looks over his shoulder and goes, anything you need in here, you just take. And as far as I am concerned, as a high mage, this is the youngest high mage there is. He's not too much older than y'all. As far as I'm concerned, it was taken in the attack. I don't know where it went. I didn't see anything.
Do you have any booze?
Well, not technically.
No,
Well,
it's okay. We can hit a bar on the way out.
it's strong.
I'll probably look for a sword that is more fitting to my physique, or some kind of weapon
No,
that I
this
could
is
use.
it's not for drinking. Well, it's a little bit for drinking, but these things are weak of the fire, so
yeah,
Oh,
when we burned them, they produced green smoke.
yeah, that's true.
Does that mean anything?
like when you burn leaves on a fire, the smoke's all weird colored.
Yeah,
Aye.
these appear to be more plant-like than
Human.
yes, and these were ones that were. We watched someone in the street get bitten, and then they became one of them. this infection, that is spreading is quick. The Godsbane mushroom grows very quickly in them, it would appear.
Now, I hate to say it like this, but that's actually good news.
Okay.
Because if it spreads via saliva or some other kind of bite through canine teeth, etc., that means that it isn't airborne.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
And
That's very good news.
that will ensure the survival of many people in the city. We just need to keep instructing people to stay inside.
Mm-hmm.
I believe most places should be okay. I don't know. This part isn't my expertise.
Yeah, that's more. It's more Clara's job, isn't it?
Yes, certainly not mine. Like I said, feel free to take what you need. I'm going to have something written up upstairs, and I will give it to you before you go on your way.
We deeply appreciate the Hall of Mages' understanding in the sharing of resources during catastrophic times.
Don't be understanding with those old coots right now. They've been going crazy up there for hours.
They're
Getting
still
turns and
yelling.
leaves.
They're still yelling at each other.
Not yelling. It's like passive aggressive. They're not
Okay.
very happy right now.
I don't believe anyone is very happy right now. All right. Well, thank you, Simon. I hope you have I was going to say I hope you have a good rest of your day, but may the moon shine on you.
Like I said, not totally my thing, but I'll take what I can get right now. I will have a note. When he gives it to you, it will be like wax sealed, so I will tell you exactly what's in it when you deliver it and it's opened.
What kind of stuff? Like, we're just like in the entirety of the Hall of Mages, so there's like a bunch of just random everything, like anything we could like reasonably ask for.
So there's a lot of like different like display things, like notable artifacts from the deceased mages of past, like so-and-so discovered this, and here's some documentation on it, and here's like an artifact that we put in class from the discovery, and blah 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 blah. There's ornamentals and stuff like that. There's also like emergency supply, which because nothing is guarded right now, you could pretty easily nip the keys and get into.
Yeah, what's in there?
With some weaponry, like emergency sort of supplies, like first aid, rations, emergency blankets, stuff like that.
I think Gail immediately goes for first aid stuff just because, you know, she's not a very fighty person.
I am looking for alcohol.
Okay. Simon will provide that to you. When he comes back with the letter, he's got actually, since I have this, he's got like one of these. Like one of these shape bottles. And it's filled with a liquid that's like a cool, like orangish. And he goes, "That's straight from my desk." So it smells really strong and floral. He said, it's zinnia and herb moonshine, I guess, technically.
No, so it burns easily. Good.
Have a little for me. I mean, it took me a while to perfect that recipe.
Just grabbing cloth. This is fine.
Okay. In the first aid, there's magic, like stuff in there that would be magical. So there's like test tube-ish like vials of like what would be a healing potion and stuff like that, but you can see that they like ain't working. There's no
I
like glowy.
immediately just throw those out.
Yep. Yeah, you can keep the jars if that will help you, but the potions will not function right now.
I'm keeping all of the jars. Yeah. Any
But
containers
inside-
and anything that can burn. It's gonna.
I hand all the jars to Raul, and I also see if in the first aid kit there is any of the like cloth. Because
Yeah,
I have a
there's
feeling
gauze.
if Raul is making Molotovs, that might be very useful.
Yeah, there's gauze, and also like by way of cloth, like there's plenty of like banners, tablecloths, stuff like that can be taken, like carpeting, like there's plenty by way of fabric in here that is in no short notice. The first aid also has like what's that thing that I hate? What's in the brown bottle that your mom makes you put on a
Hydrogen
scrape?
peroxide.
Yeah. There's a free point in that for Becca. Take that, put it somewhere.
I'll
To
wear it
a
with pride.
skill.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's hydrogen peroxide, all that kind of stuff inside inside the first aid kit, like needle and thread in need of sutures, that kind of stuff. Thinking about the first episode of Lost right now. I'm actually really good at emergency. I have sewed a wound together on a person before.
Okay. This is good to know.
I have medical super glue on my desk like right now.
Yes, we have glued my father's hand back together with super glue.
Fun.
He didn't want to go to the ER.
Same.
He was carving a corned beef. The most Jewish thing ever. He was carving corned beef. He cut his hand, and he like knew the ER would be a long way, so he just like laid on the floor of the kitchen like this while I found glue. And that was it. I digress. We've got alcohols, fabric, first aid.
I want to find a ranged weapon because right now I have a stick and a broken taser.
Yeah, I was also going to say if Gail could find something that is more suitable to their stature, that would probably be useful.
I have my sword. Should work.
Yeah. You're welcome to use the weapons you have. Going into the displays of defense past, there is some cool stuff hanging up, as well as in like the security lockers. There's some standard and well-maintenance equipment. I will. Who feels lucky?
You know what? I do.
I mean,
Roll a d20, Layla.
ooh.
Okay, let's find out if I'm correct, because feelings are not facts. Feelings are not facts. I rolled a 2.
Okay. So you will not get that. You can. You
What's
can.
happening?
I had a cool thing, but only in exchange for a good roll.
Hey, that's fair. That's kind of how games work sometimes.
Yeah, you can definitely
man.
get your hands on like a crossbow. That's in the security stores. Pretty heavy impact, all things considered. A good stash of about 40 arrows for that. I'll give to you. Then
There's arrows here. I'll take a refill.
yeah, you can take a refill.
Sure. How many
Arrows
did
are not in. You take you can both take 40 for your respective ranged weapons.
I give the sword back to Raul. I'm like, I appreciate you letting me borrow this, but I feel like the crossbow will be a more pertinent weapon for me.
There is one crossbow, so it's either going to Taha or it's going to Gil.
I have
Oh,
a
you
stick.
can divide that stuff between yourselves. I have my own stuff.
Taha, are you better at holding sword or shooting crossbow?
I would imagine better at
there are other blades, so I would recommend whoever is better at like speed to take the bow, and whoever is
I
better
have-
at strength to take a blade.
I
Mm,
have 0 speed and strength. I am a
Valid.
magic person.
Same. I theoretically can target better range. I have the targeting
Okay.
eye feat.
Okay.
Well,
so-
as meta as this is, I am a guest player. So here is a crossbow for you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's okay
Um,
because there are plenty of like cool blades available. So what would be like a slightly curved short sword for like a like quote unquote like an average like human or tiefling or that kind of creature is a curved long sword for you, Gale. And that packs a punch, so do not worry.
Incredible. I guess I will be stabbing things today. I don't typically do that.
yeah, I mean,
Anything else before we move on?
I just want to make sure that I have like plenty of blank notebooks on my person. Because I swept my entire desk into my bag, but I just want to make sure I actually have like a blank notebook so I can take notes on things. Because I know
You've got it.
Okay,
It's
cool.
There's if you didn't have one, you could find one here.
I have like 5 novelty mugs in this bag because they were just on my desk holding like pens and stuff.
I'll
But-
remember that.
Yeah, don't worry. I'll throw them.
I
Projectiles.
I wanna still collect all Molotov utensils, pieces of cloth, alcohol, etc.
I'd say that like if you go through some people's desks, like in like the office like spaces, you can definitely find some flasks.
Oh, I definitely
with,
will.
with alcohol, yeah.
Oh yeah. I don't. This is a life or death situation. If their alcohol consumption is a problem, they can take it up with my ass. It's fine.
I don't know if they're coming back for it right now anyway.
That's true.
All right.
Yeah.
We're heading to the stables next, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right. We should
So-
do that now.
Yes, quite.
I'm not gonna have you roll again because very frankly, I don't want to.
Valid.
That's where
That's very
I'm
fair.
at today.
Yeah, that's okay.
You can follow the kind of indentation from the Majorel out, kind of go through the cars of one, so because it's like not moving right now safely enough until you reach the outer rim of the city. Knowing the city in which you live, you are able to follow the correct line that would lead you right there. The doors of the stable, it'd be hard to kind of close up because it's like an open space, you see. But there's definitely like somebody who did their best in there. Like some poor stable hand, you can see like these like very very what's the word? Pigmented like green eyes, like looking out like the lookout slot in the door. And you can see that like haphazardly there's a lot of things like leaned up like against the closed doors of the stables, like where things could have climbed over and stuff like that.
So we can see like there's a person inside.
There is a person looking out from the inside, yeah.
Is it a
Um,
person or like a monster person?
It's like a conscious living being.
Oh,
Hello. Could you please let us in? We're trying to save the world? Question mark. We're not really
Well-
sure what the situation outside is.
Or could we just borrow or rent some steeds?
Ah. Uh. Sorry, it's been a lot of dead
We
people.
Mm-hmm.
We understand it's been a very rough day for all of us.
If you if you don't mind crawling. And he like crouches and you hear some like prying of wood. And there's a space that you can fit to like crawl through inside the stable.
I am excellent at crawling, and then I get on my all fours with my little mouse body.
Skitter on in.
Is the place
You're
just
not-
completely sealed?
To the best of this dude's ability.
How are we gonna get the horses out?
Well, he's gonna have to unlock some doors for you.
All right, now crawl in.
Yeah.
Crawling on in.
Also, it's like the front entrance that's locked up, but the other sides may not be as heavily fortified because this is like the outer ring of town now. You're not the first to leave, but I think you might be the last. I haven't seen anybody in a while.
The last people you saw probably passed a while ago, right?
Yeah. Some people passed by 40 some odd minutes ago.
Have you been told to stay quiet? It
haven't.
seems that that's how the beings that have been attacking people are attracted. So staying quiet is a really good way to stay out of their perception.
I haven't been told Jack, but I kind of figured that by now. The animals were kind of curious about him when they passed by. Tried to eat one of them.
The
That's
animals.
why I had to start boarding up.
The animals tried
Yeah.
to eat one of them.
Well, they kind of like, like when they smell something you like and they start sniffing.
Yeah.
Did the monsters not attack the animals?
I didn't let them get close enough. And he pulls his like jacket, and he has like I was talking about the different kinds of firearms in this universe, how there's old school ones that work on gunpowder and there's new school ones that work on like concentrated magic. This is an old school gun he's got on his hip.
Oh,
You've done a very good job of holding this stable down. However, we are hoping to borrow some horses to
It's just the
get to
one.
another city.
Yeah, you want strength or speed?
Sorry, could you repeat that?
Do you want a mount that's real strong? Do you need to carry a lot, or do you want to move fast?
Just one for the three of us.
One for all three is gonna have to be pretty big.
No, the two of us count for one.
I mean,
Oh,
so
well.
two-
Yeah, I guess so. All right. Ooh, I'm gonna roll a die. I did invent different mounts for this world.
Oh,
Yay! I want to know about all of them.
yeah. Can we just get like one of each?
Is
You'll
there anything
discover
with
them. You'll
tentacles?
discover them as time goes on.
We just want one of each.
Is there anything with tentacles?
Is there a
Probably not
variety
here.
pack?
Yeah. Is there like a little sampler?
can we have make a ride?
Oh, like a carousel?
Yeah, we just.
I would bet
make
you
it-
all the different ones are on a carousel somewhere in the city, like a kid's ride.
That'd be
That's
cute.
so cute.
So the mount that you're gonna get is sort of like a imagine a kiwi bird, but like if a kiwi bird was larger, obviously, and like longer in the torso, and it's kind of like dusty purple colored.
What
This
a
is-
beautiful steed.
this is an Arask. I put that in the chat.
Thank you.
Ooh, spelled very fantasy. I appreciate that.
Yeah. This is Lila. She's a gentle one, but she's real reliable. I don't want to give you some rich family's property or anything like that in case they come looking. So she's mine. So just take care of her, all right?
Although Fridge Mountain's probably
Of
dead,
course.
but yeah.
Save the world. Maybe I'll be on your heels if I can get all these animals out of here first.
Of course.
Mm.
Well, we will need to unbarricade an exit in order to get Lila and all of us out of here.
Oh, I can unroll the back.
Incredible.
It's like, like when stores in the mall close at the end of the night, they have like that middle thing that like comes up with the chain. That's what they have in the back of the stable, so carts can get in and out. He will saddle up the Arask for you, and help you kind of like load your bags onto like these appropriate kind of like hooks that keep them in place. She just doesn't like the water. So it's not like she like will freak out, but she's not going to cross it without a bridge. You should be fine though. Where did you say you were going?
We're going to Ishak.
Oh, you're going inland. You'll be just fine. Just watch out for those dead motherfuckers. With that, I
We
want to
have
close
weapons.
the episode.
Yeah.
Yay!
Okay, that was super fun. That was the only good thing that happened to me all day. Okay.
Yeah, we did it!
Glad to be a part of it. Our
All right.
influence. Hulu.
Let's do some things. Let's plug some things. I know. Okay. I will do that. I can't remember what order I went in now.
You did
Layla, your
Raul
guest.
and then me and Taha. But I'll go first.
Yeah, go first. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Layla Baman-Ziari. I've played on a few TTRPG actual plays, but I'm always looking to do more stuff. So feel free to hit me up. I did agree to do this within 24 hours. So if you liked my performance, imagine what I could do with
And
even
we
more
thank
heads up.
Layla for that.
Yes, very much so. Other than that, there's not really a lot going on. I live in Chicago and I'm always looking for more friends. I know almost every single one of you are probably strangers, but strangers are just friends you haven't become friends with yet. And you can
Rush
find
has a
me
line
on
that's
Twitter.
opposite that. It literally goes, I can't believe a stranger is a long-awaited friend. It's Daily Rush Facts. Becca. Victim.
What? Excuse me? I'm Becca.
Zip.
You can Zap. You can find me anywhere that I'm worth finding as Cool Armadillo, either with a 0 as the final O or not. It really is a case-by-case basis. As for other places you can find me on Saturdays in 2 different places. You can find me on any of your favorite podcast streaming apps for my podcast Unlikely Adventures, where me and my co-host Macy just flirt, I guess. That's all we really do. But we also, I guess, make bad D&D characters. And then you can also find me still on Saturdays at twitch.tv/Gammarzilla Kong for Shadows of Sharn, which is an Eberron-based game where I play Galen La Morales, a shitty little detective boy. And that's at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4 p.m. Pacific. That's it.
Joel.
Hi, I'm Joel. I am typically Shadow Ace on the internet. I am just kind of all over the place all of the time. But on Wednesdays, I am here doing things in TTRPG. It's kind of becoming just routine at this point. Chances are, once this is done, I'll also be in whatever's next because I fucking love this platform. Tomorrow and on Sunday nights, on Thursdays and Sunday nights, or no, during the day. At some point during those 2 days, I do Let's Plays on my own Twitch channel. I've been doing BioShock and Ratchet and Clank, the original one, because I like me some oldies. On Mondays, I'm playing a Halfling Wizard over on Talking XP, also here on Twitch. We're going to go up against a big bad werewolf person, and I only have one fireball left, so we'll see how that goes. And then on Tuesdays, I am doing private learn to play TTRPG games. Did Starfinder last time, and now I'm doing Pathfinder. And if you are interested in joining, you can just send me a message on Twitter, and I'll set you up to join. It's completely free of charge. Everybody at the table is new. So there's no pressure about performing well or not. It's not live streamed, and I provide all the stuff that you need to play. So if you're ever wanted to learn a TTRPG, let me know. I'll run it for you.
That's so cool.
That's so
That's
nice. Yeah.
That's all I got for now. I've got other stuff proven, but that's me.
Here on the channel, starting on Friday, July 1st, which is this Friday, we have the premiere of Los Casados at 5:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern time. It is a Haunted West campaign. Everyone is hot and will make you cry. And I have seen the cast and the promos, and I agree that everyone is hot, and I will cry about it. Like very soon, like this Friday during the premiere, because I don't have plans. I am Max. I'm not doing anything but this right now. I like doing other stuff. Maybe you should even ask me. Just a passing thought. You can find me anywhere that you want to find me to ask me on the internet at Arcane Goth. And you can find me here next week as the party will be leaving the city of Registoy and heading to Aishulk. Have a good night, everybody. Don't let the undead bite.